Hi everyone. What I want to do today in this video is talk about perspectives and how perspectives and changing perspectives can change situations and can also change how we look at those situations and sometimes even the outcome of the situation and make it more ease and more fun. So let's get started. Perspectives. What are perspectives? If we ask ourselves about perspectives, the first thing that we can do is go into Google and type in perspectives and see what happens. If we do this, we get a million of results because perspectives apparently is something that is quite top of mind for a lot of us. The first result that we see when we go into Google is the perspective of what we see with our eyes. So the perspective of, let's say, geographical elements or of specific furniture in our room or our living room. So the perspective of, let's say, a mountain. If we directly stand in front of a mountain while skiing, the mountain is huge. It's huge, magnificent, we could almost say. But if we look from a distance at the mountain, then the mountain seems very, very small. It changed our perspectives. Our perspective standing in front of the mountain and our perspective being far away. The mountain is always the same size. But because we change our perspective, the mountain looks very different because our perspective is different. You can do the same thing when you're in your living room and have a table or whatever furniture or whatever you want to use. And what happens if you stand in front of your table? You see a table. Have a look at the table. How does the table look like? What size does it have? What is on top of the table? How does the table make you feel? What do you see behind the table? And then turn around 90 degrees and again look at the table. What do you see? How does the table look like? What do the images maybe in front or behind the table tell you? How did just changing your perspective and what you see by 90 degrees change how you look at the table, what you see, what you perceive? This is an example of how we look at things from different perspectives while looking at them more from, let's say, a furniture perspective or a perspective in space and with our own eyes. But we can also change our perspectives if we look at situations, at moments, at thoughts. And that's what I want to do today. So I want to talk with you today around several examples that maybe you know in your own life and that maybe are sometimes a bit stressful. And I want to change your perspective, or at least I want to allow you to see that there are other perspectives as well. And they might be as helpful or even more helpful to look at a specific situation and make it more easy. So let's get started. The first, a very classical example, is the example of the glass. If you think about a glass, it can be empty and it can be full. But a glass can also be half empty and half full. What is it? Is the glass half empty or is it half full? Do the exercise yourself. Take a glass, put water in, and make it half, whatever half that might be. And then have a look and think to yourself, say to yourself, oh, this glass is half full. Or you say, oh, this glass is half empty. What do you say? You can just check it. Interestingly, it also changes for yourself probably. In some situations, you might say, oh, the glass is half empty. In some other situations, you might say, oh, this glass is half full. So it really depends on yourself as well, on your mood, on the situation you are in, at the environment where you're in. Wherever you are, it might be a different perspective. Let's have a look at a different example. An example of, let's say, you imagine, or not, let's say you imagine, but let's imagine that you want to change and move to a different city, or your employer asks you to move to a different city. What is it about the different city and the change in cities and the environment? Is it that you say, oh, that's so excited. I'm so excited. And I just start, organizing and doing things, and I'm really looking forward to it, then probably you will easily move and the whole thing will be quite with ease. What happens on the other side? If you say, oh God, I now have to do that. I see problem here, I see problem there, and that's so exhausting. And oh, I really don't want to do that. I kind of have to organize that now. Very different perspectives. And depending on the perspective and how you go about it, it will change a lot of how you act, and it will change a lot about the outcome. So maybe you're a similar situation where you have been and you're wondering, okay, this is kind of, I always see problems here. Maybe you can just turn around 90 degrees and this whole situation changes and you find something within yourself that more enjoys it. And just by changing the perspective and seeing some joy and some fun in it and some excitement, you might change the outcome of the situation itself as well. And a third example, an example that I guess we all know, it's about rain. So when it's raining outside, most of us see it as, oh, that's great. Oh, I don't like that. I just want to be staying at home and not thinking about the rain. But what if you change your perspective? What if you say, rain is good for the environment. We need rain. And if I see children, they also love to play. They love rain. It's exciting for them. And they just jump around and they have these colorful raincoats and it looks so playful and so much fun. So maybe you can also change your perspective and say, maybe the next time I just play with the rain. If this sounds a bit odd, maybe it is, but still, you can change it. And the rain and the situation and just a weather is not changing your whole perspective, and maybe also your perspective with other things that happen that day. But if you see it more in a playful way, then also the playfulness of the rain can have a positive effect on other situations and other moments that happen in your day when it's raining. So you see, they're very different perspectives. Like Google said, 1 million of perspectives. And at the same time, we also have 1 million of perspectives. Our perspectives change and our perspectives can change. And that's a very liberating feeling. So what I would like to take for you, or like give you, like an idea and a new perspective, and just try it out today. Maybe you have a situation that is a bit more, you're not so sure about this, you see some critical points and something that maybe isn't so easy sometimes, or something that feels a bit difficult, and you are not so convinced that somehow this will play out in a good way, then maybe just try it out. Go 90 degrees and change 90 degrees in your perspective and your standing towards that situation. And maybe just by standing differently or going out for a walk and just get a new perspective, or get a new perspective from someone else, that in that way, this whole situation changes and makes it more fun, more ease. And you are more lighter in the situation and you're more calm in that situation. And just out of this change in perspective in yourself, you will also change the outcome. And maybe it's not even that critical and problematic, but in the end, it's actually fun and playful and you enjoy it. And you gained a new perspective and you gained a new experience, a positive one. So I hope this video was helpful for you and you really enjoyed looking at different perspectives and maybe also changing your own perspective around a specific topic. If that's the case, I would be really happy if you subscribe to the channel or give me a like, or otherwise, maybe you have a comment, maybe you changed your perspective, and then I would be really happy to know about it. Have a great day.